It's good to see you. This is a bright spot in my very stressful day.
Is it lame if I say the same?
No,
Is it?
no.
No, this
I
is.
imagine you're experiencing similar things that I am. I mean, we don't have a hurricane bearing down upon us right now, like everyone in Florida and the Virgin Islands. So I'm definitely have nothing to complain about. But I'd be lying if I wasn't sitting here going a little stressed out. Don't have my car here. I'm supposed to be working on it.
You know what? So, pause that story because
Sure.
you once again have unknowingly teed up the perfect thing to tee up. This is from a listener who sent this in, and I just want to make sure that we brought this up right away. This is from Brian Petzer. Wow, Brian Petzer Zelka. Hey, Brian, you're from Houston. Brian just shot us an email. He says, it may be flooding down here in Houston, but man, y'all have brought some sunshine to an otherwise dark time while I've been cleaning up neighbors' homes from the flood. I've binge listened to you on Podbay. I love the content and have been binge watching the Dukes of Hazzard ever since I found you guys. I hope to meet and share a beer with you both sometime. One of your dedicated 10% listeners. P.S. I'm working on making a shirt for you guys with the tagline, one is wholesome and the other is a mini trucker. Stay safe. So,
Oh man, that was cool.
Brian, thank you. You stay safe too, man. And yeah, we appreciate the note. And yeah, like you said before, I mean, there are people in the world who have real problems. We're just busy.
Yeah.
They have real problems.
If anything good comes out of some of these natural disasters that have occurred in Texas and off the coast of Florida, like right now the U.S. Virgin Islands are basically, about to get bombed by a Category 5 storm. I mean,
yeah,
lots of horrible things are happening, but a byproduct of that has been lots of people coming together to help each other. The videos that I've watched of people from other states dragging their boats down to Texas to motorboat down Main Street and pick people up from the roofs of their houses, have been inspiring. It really has.
I saw
at least that's happening.
The Coca-Cola didn't sponsor us, but they did give away, like some people needed water, and there was a Coca-Cola distribution facility and trucks outside, all half underwater. And they could get there by boat, and the water and pops and Frescas or whatever, they were all stored up high. And Coca-Cola said, you go in and steal whatever you want.
Yeah, Anheuser-Busch just stopped making beer and started sending out cans of water.
Doing water, so cool. Yeah, there's always time to help people. Brian, thank you again for your email. And if anything, this show, you're not going to get smarter by listening to it. It's not going to improve anything other than maybe it just gives you something fun to do for about an hour. That's our goal.
Maybe a blueprint for what not to do in various life situations.
Yes. Yes. Don't do most of what Mike tells you.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's basically how we're going to do that. But anyway, so let's go ahead and tee things up here. So you are, when people don't listen to these in order, but by the time they hear this, you should be in the midst of drag week, right?
In theory, I will be in Hot Rod Drag Week, hopefully.
Okay. The problem is, as we look at your garage drop back, backdrop, drop back. That's what you do in football. There's no blasphemy at your house.
Yeah. Remember the last time we talked? I went to the drag strip and broke the car a couple of times, fixed it, and got my license.
Yeah, which was great.
Which was awesome. Well, the things that we broke, the leaf springs, we rebent them at the drag strip, but they weren't safe. The transmission, we fixed the throwout bearing mostly, but it was still leaking. All of that had to get undone. So my good friends Daniel and Matt, while I was out of town filming Roadkill last week, took the car, and they've been working on it, but nothing for them has gone smoothly. Nothing's fit right, and it's just they've been pulling their hair out and not really getting much sleep. And they're on their way here now to bring the car to me. I had planned on having the car back beginning of the week or end of last week so that when I got here, the sizable list of things that I need to do to this car to make it legal for drag week, that was my plan. And now I'm staring at a list and going, even if I don't sleep, I don't think I can finish all this. So I may be putting together the car in the line for registration when I get there. There's certain aspects of the car that just flat aren't legal on an NHRA drag strip, and I need to redo those things. And they're very time-consuming fabrication projects. Like my door bars. Unknowingly, I made the door bars, which is the part of the roll cage that protects the driver in case the car lands on the door. Those were made out of 067 wall chromoly tubing. Well, the spec from NHRA, unbeknownst to me, is 083, which is significantly thicker. So I need to cut door bars out of the car, cope some new ones, and TIG weld them into there. Okay, not the end of the world. Well, the exhaust system, I made this really cool tubular exhaust system, side pipes and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to tuck them up under the rockers a little bit so that when you got out of the car, you didn't burn yourself on them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's these outriggers that come off the frame rails that extend out to the rocker panel, and the roll bar tubing comes down and meets those outriggers. Well, the bottom edge of it, I half mooned it and plated it so I could tuck the exhaust up. Well, apparently that's illegal. So I have to cut the outriggers out of the car, cut the roll bar tubing from the outriggers, and replace that. Then I have to lower the exhaust system down and rebuild the headers and the downpipes and remount the exhaust. So I've got those things, in addition to things like, as much as I drive this car on the street, it's missing certain things like a horn. You have to have a horn on drag week. These are for quote unquote street cars. We need to make them as streetable as possible. My car needs a horn, and the horn is at the bottom of a list of a bunch of fabrication projects. I need to do this thing. So as soon as we're done podcasting, I'm driving 2 hours to where my enclosed trailer is because some crazy guy from Iowa jumped in his car or his truck and drove 15 hours. Allegedly.
I was sorry.
Yeah, allegedly wants to buy my trailer.
I said I was sorry. It's not me.
Dude, it's the craziest thing ever. He calls me at like 10 o'clock last night and he sounds drunk. But he talks as if he has money. And he's like, yeah, dude, want your trailer.
Say that again. He's drunk, literally. But he clearly has money.
He sounds
what does a drunk money-wielding man sound like?
He says things like, he sounds as if he's drunk and he's calling me from the bar. But he makes comments like, I say, what kind of truck are you going to pull this home with? Oh, I got a half-ton Ford. And I'm like, dude, this is a 34-foot-long bumper pull trailer with 3 axles. It's like 8,000 pounds empty. You don't want to pull this home with a half-ton truck. He's like, yeah, that's what they said when I brought my big-ass boat home, too.
Mm-hmm.
Made it. And I was like, okay, you're either screwing with me or you have quite a bit of money. He's told me multiple times he's a business owner. He's told me a lot of things that are totally unnecessary during a Craigslist transaction, And
so, is he a little bit balding?
I've never seen him. Just talked to him on the phone. But I've in the back of my mind, I've gone, well, all right, if he shows up, I'll sell it to him. I'm not expecting him to, but I keep getting texts, I keep getting phone calls, and allegedly he's 2 hours from here now. And instead of work on my car, if it arrives in the next 2 hours, I may just drop what I'm doing and go out there and meet some crazy guy from Iowa.
Man, I know them all. Tell him I said hi.
His name is Chad.
Is it really? There's no way it's Chad.
His name is Chad, and Chad is traveling with an employee of his named Brian, who I guess he bribed into driving with him last night. And get this, he's not driving his truck. He's not driving one of his company trucks. He allegedly borrowed his secretary's half-ton Ford, and it's just the craziest thing ever. Last night there was some three-way call. He's like, because I was asking about the truck. Does it have a brake controller? I don't know. Let's call her up. And I get on a three-way call between him and his secretary, and I'm just listening to him ask her whether it has a brake controller. And, oh, yeah, just changed the oil, just did the brakes. It's good to go. What do you need? You need to borrow it again? Yeah, I'm going to take your truck. Where are you going? Georgia. And it's just dead silence on the phone. And I'm just sitting there going, this can't be real.
This is Mabel on the other.
Dude, and
there's a lot of Iowa in this conversation. I'm starting to think it is real.
Dude, I'm saying it's all of Iowa, apparently. And the craziest part about this is I don't think he's a roadkill fan. I don't think he's just wants to go meet Mike Finnegan. I think he fell in love with this trailer on Craigslist and is driving 15 hours to get it. And it's not like this trailer has a pot of gold hidden in it. It's not that like this trailer is gold plated. It's not as if, when you store your car in it and tow your car to the drag strip, it unicornically, 100% makes your car faster. That's not what this trailer is. It's just a decent deal on a trailer I have, you know.
You want to know the hilarious irony in all this?
What?
When you told me you were going to sell your trailer, I made a note to myself to buy Mike's trailer. Not because I wanted to meet Mike Finnegan. Who, yes, my friends, I do know him. It's not fake. But I actually thought, oh, that would be great. I really need a car trailer. I have always borrowed. Always.
You should have bought it because you could have bought it at a more opportune time for me.
And the whole reason this is the only time of our week we're doing this is the reason I didn't get it done. I meant to. So I guess if this falls apart, let me know.
Listeners, this is the first I've heard of this, and I believe him. I totally believe him.
No, I 100% was thinking, oh, man, that would be great. But it was on a show. Yeah, you mentioned, I'm thinking about selling that. I'm thinking about selling J-Lo.
Yeah.
And my Firebird. And I remember thinking, oh, boy, if he's really going to do that, I should follow up on that trailer for sure. I need a trailer.
Well, if this turns into some sort of weird Craigslist misconnection thing that he's embarked on, I'll let you know, and you could buy the trailer.
Super duper. That'd be great. And if when he gets there, I think he will, but ask him what town he's from.
Okay. My life is so weird.
I'll bet we could figure this out. We're not going to do an ad right here, but we do have a listener that heard our last ad that Audio Boom was kind enough to set up for us with Bombfell. We've both worn our pants. This is from Greg, and it's kind of a wandering interview. So it's kind of a wandering line of thinking here. I'll just read it. Greg Cranage. Greg says, here's a super fast review of Finnegan's super fast review. And in the last show, you had some like disco music that you were thinking about having played under your overview of the Dukes of Hazzard. Well,
okay.
Well, we have the best producer in the world. He went ahead and took care of that for you. So there is disco music under there.
Are you gonna play it right now?
No, Greg is anti-disco music under you. In our world, it's called the music bed. He says, please be so kind as to drop the goofy bed of music you played behind him talking. It was hard to understand what he was saying, and I was very distracted. P.S. I love your show. This is the UPS guy that left a review you read on the air in the beginning of the Dukes cast, making my day when Mike called me Doug Herfman.
And upstairs to kiss the pillow. Made a mistake.
Come on.
I can't. We're gonna make it, aren't we?
Yes, we gotta hurry.
Wait, what?
I'm just reading what it says. He says, also, I will sign up for Bombfell tonight. I'm a dapper dressed dude when I'm not in my Browns or wrecking my Chevelle. So, long story short, this guy, Greg Cranage, we owe a debt of thanks to because I sent his email to Bombfell and they appreciated it. They really did. So, Greg,
and they understood it, apparently. That's great.
They did. I hope you signed up, Greg, and that's how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to support the advertisers that support us. Mike
Greg,
Herfman
who's not Doug?
Doug Herfman. Heffernan.
I'm so lost. Okay, good job. Good game, way to hustle.
I copied and pasted. Now, this did come in late at night. Maybe it had been a long day for Doug. Greg. Now I'm doing it. But anyway.
Not Scott, because this is good news.
Oh, no. No, Scott's still out there somewhere. I did pull up iTunes just to see how we're doing. 171 reviews right now. Here's a good one. This is from Cal P. Says it's podcast gold, 5 stars. These guys are hilarious. I could care less about the Dukes review. The plot is the same every time. But the banter between Rob and Mike is great. Keep turning them out, guys. P.S. Please don't make the commercials too obnoxious. So, there's that one.
All right.
I'm going to say he's pro-commercial. He just wants it to not be obnoxious.
I'm going to get right on like reducing the amount of noxious in this show.
Mm-hmm.
In the commercials.
That was a nice review. All the reviews are awesome. What's another one that kind of cracked me up? There's one. Here we go. Hello, my name is Trevor Seals from Missouri, and I'm 17. I obviously wasn't around when the Dukes was on TV, but ever since my mom bought me season 1 when I was little, I've been in love. It's great to be able to listen to people review the shows and catch the things I missed as a kid. I have a question regarding the General Lee car. What is the difference between a movie General Lee and a TV General Lee? Bonus points for the difference between the two movie cars. Well, first of all, Trevor, thank you for listening. We need to unpack that one kind of at a future date. But if he's talking about the movie, the differentiation here are kind of a number of things. There's 2 TV movies, one in 1997 and one in 2000. And our man Corndog has one of those cars. But there's the real Hollywood movie. There's the 2005
he's probably
movie.
referring to the Hollywood movie with Johnny Knoxville and that other guy.
Corndog kind of tried to get me up to speed on this. I mean, so when it comes to the decals, there are years of decals for cars. There's early California cars. There's kind of season 4 through the end of the Dukes of Hazzard. There's a different set of stuff for the Hollywood TV ones, and then there's the movie ones, and they're kind of a combination of different things in there. But when it comes to the car itself, I love the Hollywood car. I love the movie car so much. It's got no side marker lights. It's got no backup lamps. It's wearing 15x7 vectors basically all the way around. It's got a tan interior but a black headliner, and it's got a totally different roll cage, and it's kind of a rad roll cage, to borrow a Mike Finnegan word. It's a real roll cage, and it's well put together. The push bar is different. The push bar is a little bit narrower, and it's bolted to the front bumper. But the width of it, I think the width of it was determined by accident because they referenced what was on the Hollywood or the TV reunion cars, which had a weird bar on it. But the good thing about it was that because it was just a smidge narrower than the late season TV cars, when you open the headlights, like you could see all 4 headlights. Like it actually would shine through and was functional. On the late TV series cars, when you open the headlights, I think the 2 high beams are kind of half covered. As I recall.
I'm learning so much.
Corndog will explain this better than I do, but he sent me like a full list just on understanding the decals of seasons. And sure enough, they change throughout the seasons. They'll get fatter as the series goes on. And then the font of the General Lee lettering on the roof, that will change. The flag changes a ton. It's remarkable when you see them side by side how different the flags are. Just from the thickness of the borders, the stars are totally different. It gets pretty crazy. But Trevor, thank you for listening. And speaking of General Lees, would you like to know what I bought?
You did it? Wait a minute. You would have called me.
I would have, wouldn't I?
You bought a model generally, didn't you?
Oh, no. No.
Wait. You're telling me you bought a 68 or 69 Dodge Charger? A car large enough for you to get in and drive?
I am the proud owner of a General Lee set of Vector wheels, Mike. 15x7 Vectors, original issue, 3.75-inch backspace, found on eBay by Corndog. They're shipping to my house right now.
I am excited about that. I am. But what happened with the car? The one that was just beat enough and the price was right enough?
Okay, it's still out there. It's on eBay right now. I was trying to line up a couple sponsors with the line of thinking here that we'll take this car to SEMA. Well, that can work. But then I was just looking at the rust in the car and like...
SEMA this year?
Yeah. It's probably a little late for that. But yeah. The rust just kind of kept bothering me. So I decided to opt out. I thought the car would sell immediately. And now, a week later, here it is on eBay. So nobody else bought it either. So now that's got me kind of confused too.
So you don't want a beater generally. You want a nice generally. I
want a generally beater without that much maybe rust in it.
Good luck. Those cars just they trap
it's a unicorn. Water. I know. I know what I want is unreasonable and probably doesn't exist.
You wanted the General Mayhem body. That thing was 0 rust, no holes in it. California body.
Yeah.
And it's the one that got away. Freiberger has ultimately, he sold it to the company that owns Roadkill. And then because he wasn't thrilled with the way the car turned out, like he liked it a lot when it was powered by a motorhome engine, and you could slide it all over the place on crappy tires.
Me too.
And when it became a drag car, he wasn't into it, so he sold it to the company because they're using it for promotional purposes. You can see it at Zip Tie Drags events, and that sort of thing. And so he's been looking for another one. He bought another Charger.
And I think he sold it too. I found it. I saw that on eBay.
Yeah, he's bought two.
The black 69.
Yeah, the most recent one I think was a black one. He flipped that too.
I saw it on eBay. It's gone now.
Okay.
But as I read the description, the pictures looked okay, but it looked like once he got into the car, like it had a front end impact of some kind.
Oh, I remember him telling me that. Yeah. So he's looking for the unicorn too, and he keeps looking for the rust-free, beater Charger that he can just off-road. And they're hard to find because those cars just trap water, especially in the back. They don't drain.
They do. I've gone over this car 3 times, almost committing to it and then not. And it doesn't, again, by the pictures, it doesn't have rust in any weird area. It's all normal Charger areas. It looks legit and the bones look so good. And it probably just needs an interior. I will say all of our listeners, there's about 5 listeners in Oregon specifically that have offered to go look at it, review it in person, store it if need be. I mean, they've just been nothing but awesome about it. I am just not there.
Hey, you're not in love. It's the wrong car. If you were in love, you would have bought it already.
Jeez, dating advice. So true. What else? What else do you know?
Well, 2 plus 2. That does equal 4. And that's the end of my knowledge.
This is a strange segment we're in here. Let's do something. I have a brand new segment for you today. Brand new segment. This is in honor of football season. You're a football fan, right?
Yeah,
everybody likes football. This is a new segment called The Greatness of John Madden. I'm going to read...
hear him talk.
Yeah. But I'm going to read you some quotes, and you tell me if these are John Madden true quotes or not. I'm just going to read them to you, and then I have a couple clips to play for you, too. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Quote number 1. The best way to gain more yards is advance the ball down the field from the line of scrimmage. True quote?
See, the problem with this is I've watched Frank Caliendo parody Madden so many times now. I know he said off-the-wall things. I just can't tell what's real and what's Caliendo anymore. I'm going to go with that's true.
You are right. That's true. That is true. It's 3rd and 20. They need a good play here.
That's true.
Yes, also true. If the quarterback throws the ball in the end zone and the wide receiver catches it, it's a touchdown.
See, that sounds like Caliendo, but also sounds a lot like Madden.
Also true.
I'm going to go true.
There's a theme with these. You may start to see that here. Teams should never practice on a field that is not lined. Your players have to become aware of the field's boundaries.
False.
That's true.
So they're all true?
Yes,
no matter how crazy they are, they're all true.
Well,
Got it.
You never know. This last one.
Because that one made too much sense. That one made a lot of sense. And I'm like, no, that can't be right.
Well, you're right. Try this one on for size. The offensive linemen are the biggest guys on the field. They're bigger than everybody else. And that's what makes them the biggest guys on the field.
That's true.
Also true. Last one here. Let's see if you get this one. There's a lot of letters in LaDainian Tomlinson.
That's true.
Also true. Also true. Now, I have 2 clips for you. You mentioned Frank Caliendo, and we're going to see if he's in these. I have listened to both of these guys a lot like you have as well. And sometimes the parody of somebody becomes better than them. Mm-hmm. You know, like Will Ferrell doing George Bush is better to me than George W. Bush. Mm-hmm. Like strategery. But Frank Caliendo and John Madden, I still think I can tell the difference pretty well. So I'm going to play you 2 clips, and you tell me which is which here. So let me pull up clip number 1. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Real John Madden or not?
When I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I talked about when they turned the lights out at night.
And then it gets down, there's just one person. And that person turns out the light, locks the door. I believe that the busts talk to each other. And I can't wait for that conversation.
That's John Madden, or is it, at his induction in the Hall of Fame?
The real Madden.
Real Madden. Okay, you are right. Ding! Good job. Definitely him. Okay, apparently I only have one other clip here. Real Madden or not? Here we go.
2004, we're talking to Brett Favre at Lambeau Field, and we're, just having a normal interview, and a squirrel came running across the field, and I guess it tripped and injured itself. I didn't know. I wasn't really paying attention to the squirrel, but Brett Favre, in the middle of the interview, saw the squirrel trip, and Brett looks at the squirrel and says, "Oh no, that squirrel is limping." I mean, I didn't even know a squirrel could limp. So Brett Favre runs over and helps that little guy. Brett Favre made that squirrel a little cast. And
real John Madden or not there?
That's not the real John Madden.
It's not.
That's Frank Caliendo.
That's Frank Caliendo. He was in the other one too. He was the intro voice that you heard in the other one. He sounds so much like him. But
Even if you hadn't let it go all the way to the part where he says Brett Favre made that little squirrel a cast, I'd still know, because what Caliendo does, and he exaggerates those moments when Madden goes, the part where he mumbles, he exaggerates that, like, where it sounds a lot like Madden, but just
he made him little squirrel crutches. I mean, who makes a squirrel crutches?
Madden to the nth degree. It's awesome.
it's very top notch. So, hey, great job on our brand new segment. Greatness
What
of
did
John
Madden say?
What did Madden say? Or greatness of John Madden. This weekend's the big Iowa State game. By the time this airs, it will already be over. But that's in our state. We have no pro sports, so that's our Super Bowl. It's University of Iowa versus Iowa State University.
Are you going?
Oh, hell yeah. I'll be there at 6 a.m. Now, here's the problem. It's my youngest daughter's, my little baby girl's birthday. So,
What do you do?
well, we're going, but I'm taking her for a little birthday party on Friday, and then we'll have another one on Sunday. And then I'm going to try to be extra special on Saturday when we get home from the game. But I'm not missing this game. She
I
understands.
love you, but not that much.
She's just so hard to not fall in love with, too. She's the only kid that doesn't want anything.
You're proving it, definitely, by going to the game. Yeah.
Yeah. She can stay in with Grandma. I'm going to leave her $100, and hopefully that will take care of it. Anyway, happy birthday, little Noah.
$100 and an Uber ride to Toys R Us with Nana.
Yeah.
That shows love.
Hopefully that'll work out. Hey, I have a great idea for you about something we could do right here at about the halfway mark of this show. The wonderful people from Audio Boom have prepared another wonderful advertiser for our show, and it's somebody that I already do business with.
What?
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, tell me about it.
So HelloFresh, it's a company that you can order food, kind of couch to kitchen is one of the phrases that they use, but you can order really tasty meals just right to your door, and they ship them to you, and it's the exact amount of ingredients you need to make a full, a meal, whether you need it for 2 people, 4 people, like a full family or something like this. But we've done it many times now, and we were lucky enough to get to try some prior to running this ad. You want to know what we got?
Yeah. And so is it like they've already figured out all the ingredients and the recipe, so all you got to do is combine everything and cook it, and you're dialed?
You do. Pretty minimal skills on your end, because there's instructions that come with it. But HelloFresh themselves, they have 2 full-time registered dietitians on staff, so they put that all together so that nutritionally you've got things right, but it's the right amount. And that's the worst part about meal prep, is having too much, meaning you just have waste. And
Yeah, leftovers usually aren't that good anyway.
No, they're not. So It kind of works out great. It's less than $10 a meal when you add it all up. But here's what we got. Beef sizzle stir fry with bok choy over jasmine rice. That was number 1. Already ate it. It was super good. Number 2 was Hall of Fame Crantastic Turkey Burger with jammy mayo and green salad. Already ate that. That was great. And the one that we still got that I would like to try is Mushu Pork Tacos.
That second one sounds like a cartoon my kids watch, so you know it's going to be good.
Crantastic Turkey Burger with jammy mayo?
Yeah. The jammy mayo is like the sidekick.
I guess that would be true. I guess that would be true. But I can tell you it's really good. I can't wait till you get your packet. I'm kind of curious to what you get. Who does the cooking in your house? Do you cook?
It just depends on what night it is. We both work full time, so whoever gets home first is usually who dials that in. And I'm not a chef, but if you give me a recipe, I'll make it happen. So it sounds like this is perfect for me, because one of the worst parts of cooking is trying to come up with something to make and then go to the store and get all those damn ingredients. So if somebody's going to send all that to my house, I'm way more likely to cook and let my wife take the night off.
Well, this would work for me too. My wife is the chef in our house, but they send it to you in a box. You open the box. It's really nicely prepared, and there's instructions. So really anybody can do it. It takes 30 minutes. And they say it takes 30 minutes to make a recipe. We made 2 recipes in 30 minutes. And by we, I mean my wife, Laura.
Look at you overachieving, Laura. Nice.
Here is what our customers need to do. And by customers, I mean listeners. For $30 off your first week of HelloFresh, visit HelloFresh.com and enter in the Kibbe and Finnegan Show promo, which is KAFS 30. Numbers 30. KAFS 30. Easy peasy. And I'll even put these in the show notes, and we'll mention it again here at the end of the show. But go to HelloFresh.com and enter the promo code KAFS30, and that will get you $30 off your first week at HelloFresh.
Send us an email. I'm curious what you guys think if you do this, because you may get around to having these meals before I do. So tell me what your fave is.
It's cool because you can go in and really pick the things that you like and exclude the things that you don't like. And they
Oh, so you can go in there and be like, no vegetables. I want no vegetables anywhere near my plate. You can do that, right?
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'm not sure. I think these are nutritious, so they include vegetables. Alrighty, it is time to roll to the Dukes of Hazzard show review. This is season 3, episode 5, titled "The Late J.D. Hogg." Original air date November 21st, 1980. Written by Martin Roth. Directed by our old favorite Hollingsworth Morse. And before we get the Mike Finnegan Super Show review, our man Corndog could not send his notes last night due to some pretty bad rains that knocked out power. So he'll prepare that for us, and I'll put that in after we're done recording. And I know for a lot of people that's one of their favorite bits. I enjoy reading that stuff as well, but I wanted you to know that up front, you don't get that today.
Damn, I like it schooled every time we do this. But hey, I'll school you a little bit.
Is that going to deter you giving your Mike Finnegan Super Show 30-second review?
Oh, no. It's not like I'm cheating, you know. His usually comes after mine, so I can't glean any trivia from him and then pawn it off as mine.
Read over the shoulder of somebody else's test. What do you got?
Oh, boy. So this one, it's a pretty convoluted story. It really is. It begins with the Dukes racing to town because they've got to go to J.D. Hogg's bank to make their monthly mortgage payment, which they don't mind telling you they've been late several times on. Boss has dispatched Cletus and Roscoe to slow them down, and he forecloses on the Dukes 1 minute after the bank closes. This angers Jesse. Jesse beats on the door quite a bit until he actually breaks the glass window of the bank door, which is technically like breaking into the bank after it's closed. Which this struck me funny because in the episode before this one of the angles of that plot is that Luke gets thrown through some glass and he ends up in a boxing ring having to save the family farm. So very similar there. But
right.
Hey, it is what it is. So Boss throws Jesse, Bo, and Luke into jail for breaking the window of the bank. Meanwhile, 2 crooks, they're posted up along the local post office route. because they want to rob the postman as the Social Security money comes through. All right. While this is happening, Boss's doctor calls him after a routine checkup to tell him he's dying in less than 2 weeks, which is very, this is very sad.
Tough news for anybody
for all of us. Yeah. Good acting from Roscoe when this happens. And this sends Boss down a path of self-doubt as he thinks he's got 2 weeks to live, and not wanting to end up in the 10th level of hell, he commits to appeasing St. Peter by doing good deeds, and the first good deed, release the Dukes from jail. Second one, give them the deed to the family farm. And then he begins giving away a lot of his other assets. And he does all of this, coincidentally, by signing letters and putting them into the mail to send them to the state capitol. Aha.
Meaning they're not there yet. It's not email.
No, it's not email. This is the 80s. We're mailing a letter saying, give the Dukes their farm.
Mailing
that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So just as the Dukes walk out of jail, they have a fresh outlook on life, a fresh outlook on J.D. Hogg's heart. The bad guys appear and steal their getaway car from none other than the dude who played Mr. Belding in Saved by the Bell.
Hey, what is going on here? Hey, what is going on here? Hey, what is going on here?
I saw that too.
And here's some more trivia for you about Mr. Haskins. He was in several episodes of the Dukes of Hazzard. He was in the very first one. He played Moss in One Armed Bandits. So, and he'll appear later on in this episode. But Mr. Belding on the Dukes of Hazzard.
Mm-hmm.
Mine just blown. Okay, so Belding loses his car. Dukes give chase, but get a flat tire. And instead of seeing the General Lee leap over a canyon, we see the bad dude's 4-door crap box make the getaway jump. No big deal, is what it is. About this time, the doctor realizes his mistake and starts tracking down Boss Hogg. Guys, he's got to know you're not dying.
Mm-hmm.
He phones Daisy at the Boar's Nest, and the next thing we know, the entire Duke clan plus Cooter is looking for Boss Hogg. Meanwhile, he's doing good things. By the time they catch up to him, he's already given away the land of the orphan. But by the time they catch up to him, Boss Hogg is already given the land that the orphanage sits on to the kids. He's bequeathed a parking lot to a Little League team, and just half his fortune gone.
He's just rolling around town place to place,
he's rolling around town, drinking shine with Jesse, giving stuff away. Just high on life. And by the time they catch up to Boss to give him the news that he's not terminal, although he's happy, he now realizes, oh my God, all these things that I'm giving to people, that's kind of temporary until those letters actually get to the Capitol, until it's recorded. So the next thing he knows, he's got to find the mail truck. All right. And the Dukes, they're like, if he gets a hold of that letter and tears it up, we lose our farm again. So they're after the mail truck.
Mm-hmm.
So half of the town is looking for the bad guys and the mail truck, because at that point they figured out the bad guys, took the mail truck for the mailman. Everyone's after them. And we have another barn falling down to stop a crime incident in here, just like the last episode, which is really interesting. And the moral, not the moral, but the end of the result of all of this is, they catch the bad guys. Boss, although you think he's kind of a good guy, he's back to his old tricks, He
hasn't learned.
Jesse decides not to take advantage of Boss's situation. He realizes that Boss gave them the farm under duress. So he tells Boss, we'll just keep making our mortgage payments. You don't foreclose on us. And, they all lived happily ever after. And it's a solid episode. It really is. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed, there's a lot of hilarious moments, especially at the beginning with Flash and Roscoe. There's a lot of physical comedy in this one. Roscoe gets run over by his own patrol car. Boss gets ejected out of his Cadillac. You have the barn falling down on the cop car. There's a lot of really good stuff here, and a lot of General Lee driving footage, which is good. And so this was fun. I give this one a 7. I do.
Good solid 7.
Okay. Yeah.
7 good corn dogs. Be sure to check out HelloFresh.com, and to get $30 off of your first order, use our promo code, which is KAFS30. That's promo code, I think. And that's it. Mike, thank you as always. Everybody, thank you for listening.